Welcome back to the Wisdom Hub. Let me start with a question right off the bat. What if everything you believed about attraction wasn't just off the mark, but actually working against you? Think about it. What if all those times you were told to try harder or put yourself out there were like pouring water into a bucket with a huge hole in it? Now, what if I told you there's a way to completely change the game? A way to stop feeling like you're running in circles, chasing, texting, overthinking, and instead become the kind of person who effortlessly draws people in. Picture this: no more chasing texts, no more bending over backward to be noticed, and no more questioning whether you're good enough. What if, instead of you chasing them, they started chasing you? Let me set the scene. Imagine you're at a party or scrolling Instagram, because let's face it, that's today's equivalent. You spot someone who has it. You can't quite explain what it is, but it draws you in. They're not the loudest, flashiest, or even the best dressed. Yet, there's this vibe about them. Warm, inviting, magnetic, like a cozy campfire on a chilly night. Now, imagine being that person. What if I told you it's not about your clothes, your words, or even your actions, but about how you carry yourself? What if the secret to being magnetic lies in silence and subtle moves that exude confidence louder than words ever could? Sounds intriguing, doesn't it? Well, hang tight, because I'm about to share something powerful. The key isn't in chasing, it's in commanding. And the secret to commanding attention is rooted in a philosophy older than sliced bread, but just as relevant today: Stoicism. Yep, we're bringing out the heavy hitters. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. These guys weren't writing self-help scrolls just for fun. They understood how to stand firm and make the world take notice. Combine their wisdom with a touch of dark Stoic psychology, and you've got a recipe for undeniable, quiet magnetism. Here's the thing: most of us have been doing it wrong. We chase approval like contestants on a game show. We overshare, overthink, and sometimes even beg for attention without realizing it. And let me tell you, that kind of energy, it's like walking around with spinach stuck in your teeth, not the look you're going for. Instead, these silent actions I'll share are like keys to unlocking how people connect, admire, and feel intrigued. When you master them, you're not just creating attraction, you're building value. And that, my friends, is a whole new level of magnetism. Think of a cat. Cats don't care if you like them. They stretch, lounge, and just do their thing. And somehow, you find yourself drawn to them. That's the energy we're talking about. No chasing, no forcing, just radiating an aura that says, "I'm worth your attention, and you know it." The beauty of these principles is their subtlety. They're powerful, but quiet, transforming not only how others see you, but also how you see yourself. Because the truth is, your power doesn't come from chasing someone's attention. It comes from knowing how to confidently and quietly command it. Now, let's dive into the first silent action, a total game changer that will transform your approach to relationships: the art of never chasing. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about understanding why chasing pushes people away and how stepping back brings them closer than ever. Before we jump in, I have a small favor to ask. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's a tiny action for you, but it means the world to us and helps us keep bringing you content like this. All right, let's get started. Number 1, let shadows come to you instead of chasing them. All right, friends, let's talk about something we've all been guilty of: chasing. Yes, that anxious pursuit of someone's attention where you feel like you're on a treadmill. You're putting in all the effort but getting nowhere. Why do we do this? Is it because we see them as the only star in our sky, our one chance at happiness? Or are we just afraid of losing them, being alone, or worse, not being enough? Be honest. You've been there. We've all been there. That sinking feeling when someone pulls away and suddenly you're overcompensating, sending extra texts, overthinking replies, and trying to fix something that isn't even yours to fix. And here's the irony. The harder you try to hold on, the faster they seem to slip away, like water through your fingers. But what if you stopped chasing? What if, instead of running after someone, you stood still and let them come to you? Imagine this. You're no longer the one pouring all your energy into being seen. Instead, you exude a calm, magnetic confidence that silently says, "I'm worth it, and if you don't see it, someone else will." This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about flipping the script and realizing that the most powerful way to attract someone is by knowing your worth. Marcus Aurelius, the chill philosopher, once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." In simpler terms, what you believe about yourself shapes how others see you. So stop chasing shadows and start believing you're the light. Think of it this way. Imagine you're a bookstore. If you're shouting, "Hey, look at me, we've got books on sale," people might notice but walk on. But if your shop feels warm and inviting, with the smell of coffee and soft lighting, passers-by will pause and take a look. That's the energy you want, not desperate, but irresistible. Why does this work? Humans value what feels scarce and special. When you chase, you signal, "I'll always be here no matter what." But when you step back, you create space for curiosity, for them to miss you, to realize they want you in their life. Here's an example. Imagine someone you're dating stops putting in effort. Most people panic. They text more, plan big gestures, or ask, "Are we okay?" But what if you didn't? What if instead of leaning in, you leaned back, focused on your passions, friends, and life? That's where the magic happens. It's scary to step back, I know. But here's the truth. If they leave because you stop chasing, they were never meant to stay. And why waste your energy on someone who doesn't value you? As Epictetus said, "He who is not happy with little will not be happy with much." If they can't appreciate your calm confidence, no amount of effort will change that. Next time you feel the urge to send that extra text or overcompensate for their lack of effort, pause. Ask yourself, am I acting out of fear or standing in my worth? Then redirect that energy toward yourself. Read a book, hit the gym, or try something new. Growth is never easy, but each time you focus on your own value instead of chasing theirs, you build a foundation of self-respect that no one can shake. As Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." You already have what you need inside you. Say this affirmation with me. I am a magnet. I attract. Now, type it in the comments. Writing it down isn't just an act. It's a signal to the universe that you're ready to claim your worth. Let's keep moving forward, because your next transformation is waiting. Number 2, see yourself as the rare gem you are. All right, friends, let's get real. Do you truly know your worth? Not in a casual, "Yeah, I think I'm okay" way, but in a deep, unshakable way. Do you wake up thinking, "Wow, I'm something special"? Or do you let how others treat you, or society's standards make you second-guess your value? Here's the thing. Too many of us let the world, or worse, someone else, define our worth. Maybe it's the number of likes on a post, the attention or lack of it from someone you care about, or society's ever-changing rules about what makes someone enough. Exhausting, isn't it? But here's the truth, and I need you to hear this loud and clear. Your worth isn't negotiable. It's not up for debate. It's not a currency that rises and falls. It simply is. Let's look at this through a metaphor. Think of yourself as a rare gemstone. Not everyone will recognize your brilliance. Some might walk past without a second glance. Others might admire you briefly, then set you down. But does that make the gem any less valuable? Of course not. Its worth stays the same, no matter who notices. And you, my friend, are that rare gem. When you understand your worth, you move differently. It's not about arrogance or thinking you're better than others. It's about quiet confidence and self-respect. It's knowing you deserve care, effort, and respect, not because someone else says so, but because you know so. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your worth isn't external, it's internal. It's not about what others see, but what you believe. I get it. It's not always easy to feel this way. So how do you start building that unshakable self-worth? It begins with reflection. Take a moment right now to think about what makes you unique. Not surface stuff like your favorite color, but the deep qualities that make you you. Are you kind, creative, loyal, determined? Maybe you're someone who stays calm under pressure or lights up a room with your humor. These are your treasures, your rare qualities. When you focus on these instead of waiting for someone else to validate you, something shifts. You see yourself through a lens of strength and individuality. Here's an exercise. The next time you feel undervalued, whether in a relationship, at work, or even by yourself, pause. Take a deep breath and ask, what virtues do I bring to this moment? Write them down. This isn't bragging, it's grounding yourself in who you are. When you start operating from a place of self-worth, the world responds. You stop tolerating poor treatment, not to prove a point, but because you respect yourself too much to accept less. Imagine you're in a relationship where the effort isn't mutual. If you don't know your worth, you might let it slide. But when you do, you calmly set boundaries or walk away, knowing you deserve better. Epictetus said it best. Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. Discover your worth and live like you believe it. Say this affirmation with me. I am valuable. My worth is undeniable. Close your eyes, let it sink in, and write in the comments, I am a rare gem. When you type it, you're declaring your value to yourself and the universe. Number 3, actions speak louder than words. Let's dive into this one, friends. Have you ever been swept off your feet by someone's words? Those sweet promises that make you feel like you're in a rom-com, only to find out their actions tell a completely different story. It's a tale as old as time. Someone tells you, you're the most important person in my life, or I'll always be there for you. It feels amazing. Words have a way of making us feel seen and safe. But what happens when those words aren't backed up? When the promised call doesn't come, plans get cancelled, or they disappear when you need them most? Here's the reality. Words, no matter how beautiful, are just words. They're easy to say, but meaningless without actions to support them. Marcus Aurelius put it plainly. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. In other words, it's not about what someone says they'll do, it's about what they actually do. Think about it. How many times have you been let down by someone whose words sounded perfect, but whose actions fell short? Actions reveal character, intent, and priorities far more than words ever will. This isn't about becoming cynical, it's about being smart. Protect your emotional well-being by paying attention to what's real. Actions are the clearest window into who someone truly is. Imagine this. You're dating someone who says all the right things like, "You're so special to me." But then, when life gets tough and you need them, they vanish. Do their actions match their promises? If not, that's the truth you need to see. Here's a metaphor. Words are like a shiny car. It looks amazing on the outside, but if there's no engine under the hood, it won't take you anywhere. That's what empty words are. Nice to look at, but ultimately useless. So what should you do? Focus less on what someone says and more on what they show. Pay attention to consistency. Real commitment isn't about grand gestures, it's about steady actions that build trust over time. People make mistakes, but patterns don't lie. If someone repeatedly shows they can't follow through, believe them. On the flip side, if their actions consistently align with their words, you've found someone worth keeping. When it feels hard to separate words from actions, create some emotional distance. Detach just enough to observe without bias. Think of yourself as a scientist collecting data. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." The same goes for others. Don't just listen to what they claim to be, watch what they do. Here's your affirmation: I trust what I see, not just what I hear. Close your eyes, repeat it, and write in the comments, "I choose to see truth." You're setting a standard for how you deserve to be treated. Trust what you observe and move forward with clarity and strength. Number 4. Speak volumes without saying a word. All right, friends, let's dive into something that holds immense power but often goes unnoticed. How you communicate without saying a single word. Imagine this. Some of the most impactful messages you'll ever send don't rely on words at all. Ever walked into a room and felt drawn to someone, not because of what they said, but because of how they carried themselves? That's the power of nonverbal communication, a silent language that speaks directly to our instincts and leaves an impression before a word is even spoken. Now, let's flip the question. What silent messages are you sending without realizing it? Your posture, eye contact, movement, even the pauses you take in conversation. These all broadcast how you feel about yourself and the world around you. And here's the key. Nonverbal communication isn't about being stiff or over-rehearsed. It's about aligning your presence with the confidence and worth you already have inside. Picture this. 2 people walk into a room. The first rushes in, slouched, head down, eyes darting nervously. The second walks in, shoulders back, head held high, movements purposeful yet relaxed. Who grabs your attention? Without a doubt, it's the second person. Why? Because their body language radiates confidence. It silently says, "I belong here." Your body language is like a mirror reflecting how you see yourself. If you walk into a room as though you don't want to take up space, people will notice, but not in the way you want. On the flip side, when you carry yourself like someone who values their own presence, others will naturally start to value you too. Humans are hardwired to pick up on these non-verbal cues. It's part of our survival instinct. That's why your body language often speaks louder than your words. As the old saying goes, what you do speaks so loudly, I cannot hear what you say. Let's get practical. Start with eye contact. Strong, steady eye contact is like a superpower. It conveys interest, confidence, and self-assurance. But here's the trick. It's not about staring someone down. It's about creating a connection while staying grounded in your own energy. When you look someone in the eye and hold their gaze, it's like saying, "I see you, and I'm not afraid to be seen." Then there's posture. Think of it as your suit of armor. It either protects your confidence or exposes your insecurities. Shoulders back, chest open, chin slightly lifted, not stiff, but composed and relaxed. When you stand tall, you're telling the world, "I know my worth." Another powerful but often overlooked aspect of nonverbal communication, the pause. In a world where people rush to fill every silence, the ability to pause, whether in speech or action, is magnetic. Why? Because it shows you're comfortable with stillness, with yourself. You're not seeking validation or rushing to fill space. You're grounded, calm, and in control. Let's think of nonverbal communication as music. Words are the lyrics, but your body language is the melody. And you know what happens when the melody is off. No one cares about the lyrics. It's the melody that people feel, what draws them in. So, think about the music you're creating with your presence. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds great, but what if I don't feel confident? That's okay. Confidence isn't an instant fix. It's a muscle you build. Start small. Walk into a room with intention. Hold eye contact a little longer. Stand a little taller. These small shifts add up. And here's the magic. Even if you don't feel 100% confident, your body language can trick your mind into believing you are. Social psychologist Amy Cuddy calls this power posing. When you adopt confident body language, your brain starts to follow suit. Before you know it, you're not just faking confidence, you're embodying it. To ground this in Stoic wisdom, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Your thoughts shape your presence, and your presence shapes how others perceive you. So, if you want the world to see you differently, start by changing how you see yourself, and let that confidence shine through your non-verbal cues. Here's an affirmation for you. I speak with my presence. Close your eyes, say it out loud, and let it sink in. Take it a step further, drop it in the comments. Type, I speak without words. Own it, declare it, and start living it. You are magnetic, confident, and capable of commanding attention without saying a word. The world is listening. Now go, show them what you've got. Number 5, boundaries speak louder without words. Let's talk about something that trips us all up, boundaries. When someone crosses the line with you, do you feel the need to explain yourself? Maybe you overthink it, talk too much, or try to justify why your feelings matter, hoping they'll understand and respect your boundaries. Sound familiar? It's okay. We've all been there. But here's the truth. Boundaries aren't about long speeches or heated arguments. They're about action. Actions, not words, enforce respect. Think of boundaries as invisible lines protecting your time, energy, and emotions. They don't need to be announced or debated. The strongest boundaries are the quiet ones, those you live by without saying a word. You don't have to tell people your boundaries, you just have to live them. Imagine a friend or partner constantly canceling plans last minute. Instead of lecturing them, stop making plans with them. Or, if someone disrespects you with words or actions, you don't need to demand an apology. Just take a step back. Over time, people will learn your boundaries because you show them, not because you explain them. This puts the power back in your hands. You can't control others, but you can control your actions. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Peace comes from within, and you enforce your boundaries by respecting yourself. Here's a metaphor. Think of yourself as a house. Your boundaries are the walls and locked doors that keep your space safe. You don't need to stand at the door shouting about it. The locked door says everything. When you enforce your boundaries quietly, you send a powerful message. I value myself enough not to settle for less. They can either rise to meet your standards or step away, and either way you've protected your peace. If stepping back makes someone leave, then they weren't meant to stay. Letting go clears space for those who do respect you. Here's an example. If you're dating someone who makes dismissive comments about your feelings, don't argue or explain. Just stay calm and detached. Your silence will say it all. If they notice the change, great. If not, that tells you everything you need to know. Setting boundaries without words isn't about ignoring problems, but letting your actions speak louder than words. When you stop tolerating behavior that doesn't align with your values, you're saying, I value myself too much for this. This is quiet strength, powerful but subtle. People notice because your actions make your boundaries undeniable. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Setting boundaries is about deciding who you are and living in a way that honors that. Here's a takeaway. The next time someone crosses a line, pause. Instead of defending yourself, ask, how can I show rather than tell that this isn't okay? Maybe it's not responding to a disrespectful text or saying no to plans that don't align with your priorities. Let your actions speak for you. And your affirmation today: I enforce my boundaries with quiet strength. Say it, let it sink in, and drop it in the comments. My boundaries are my strength. By affirming this, you're claiming your power and embracing relationships that honor your worth. You've got this. You are strong, grounded, and worthy of respect. Let those boundaries shine. Number 6, embrace change with grace. Let me ask you this. What do you do when things in a relationship start to shift? Maybe they're texting a little less, or the once effortless connection feels different. If you're like most people, your first instinct might be to panic. You might overthink every interaction, hold on tighter, or try to fix things. But here's the truth. The harder you try to control change, the more it controls you. Now, you might be thinking, doesn't change mean something's wrong? Not always. Change is a natural part of every relationship, even the healthiest ones. Marcus Aurelius, a master of calm, famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That's where Stoic wisdom shines. The secret isn't to fight change, it's to embrace it with grace. Picture this. You're in a relationship and suddenly things feel less smooth. Maybe they're pulling away a bit, or life's challenges make it harder to connect. Your instinct might be to double down, text more, plan something big, or demand answers. But here's the paradox. The more you resist change, the more tension you create. That tension, it's like quicksand, pulling you both further apart. What if instead of resisting, you paused, took a deep breath, and reminded yourself, this is part of the journey? Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of the need to control every outcome and trusting your ability to navigate whatever comes next. Here's why this works. When you embrace change with grace, you project a calm, confident energy. You show adaptability, resilience, and a willingness to grow. That energy, it's magnetic. It draws people in, not because you're chasing them, but because you're creating space for the relationship to evolve naturally. So, the next time uncertainty strikes, remind yourself, I can handle this. Change isn't a threat. It's an opportunity to grow, deepen your connection, or open the door to something even better. Today's affirmation: I grow through change. Close your eyes, say it out loud, and feel that strength within you. Ready to claim it? Drop it in the comments. I grow through change. Let the universe know you're ready to flow with whatever comes your way. You've got this. Number 7, the power of saying no. All right, friends, let's talk about something many of us struggle with: saying no. When was the last time you said yes when your entire being was screaming no? Maybe you agreed to plans you didn't want to make, said yes to a favor that stretched you too thin, or went along with something in your relationship that didn't feel right. Why did you do it? Were you afraid they'd be upset? That they'd think less of you? Or worse, that they'd pull away? Sound familiar? Don't worry, you're not alone. We've all been there, caught in the trap of pleasing others at the expense of ourselves. But here's the hard truth. Every time you say yes to something that goes against your values or comfort, you're saying no to yourself. Saying no isn't just about declining a request. It's an act of self-respect. It's a way to show the world, and more importantly, yourself, that your boundaries matter, your feelings are valid, and your time and energy are valuable. I know it's not easy. especially in relationships. You might worry, what if they react poorly? What if they feel rejected? What if they leave? These fears are real, but the cost of saying yes when you mean no is far greater. Each time you compromise your truth to keep someone else happy, you chip away at your own self-worth. Here's an example. Imagine you're in a relationship and they suggest something that doesn't align with your comfort or values. The easy route might be to go along with it, smile, and suppress your discomfort to keep the peace. But what if instead you calmly said, "No, that doesn't work for me." Not with anger or defensiveness, just quiet confidence. By saying no, you're not just setting a boundary, you're setting a standard. You're showing them and yourself that you value who you are and what you need. And here's the beautiful truth. Someone who truly values you will respect your no, not run from it. Today's affirmation: my no is my power. Say it out loud, let it settle in your heart, and if you're ready to own it, drop it in the comments. My no is my power. Because every time you honor your boundaries, you declare to the world and to yourself that you are worthy of respect. And trust me, you are. What spoke to you the most today? I'd love to hear your thoughts, questions, or even your personal stories. Drop them in the comments so we can connect. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to give the video a like. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button to stay in the loop for the next part of this journey. And hey, share this with someone who could use a reminder of their worth. Let's grow together, thrive, and keep building lives rooted in respect, love, and confidence. You've got this, my friends. See you next time.